I'm joined today by Alex Busch. He is the executive director of ReachForth, a ministry that uses the love of sport to reach out to people with the love of Jesus. But they are in desperate need of your old hockey equipment this Christmas season. Welcome, Alex.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
First of all, tell us about ReachForth.
Yeah, so ReachForth is a charity that's been around for just over 40 years now. And we
4
are
years?
40 years,
wow,
yeah.
Okay.
We're a sports ministry, and so we use a platform of recreational sports to share the good news of Jesus. So we run leagues throughout the city of Hamilton, greater Hamilton area, and community programs. And at every game and at every event, we take a few minutes and we share the gospel. Wow. We share an encouragement from Scripture. We just encourage our players to consider things of faith and things of God while we play sports.
And what's the age range of the kids that you
Well, our kids leagues are from age 5 up to 14, and then we have adult leagues that are age 15 to as old as you'd like to play.
That's
so,
cool.
Yeah, lots of opportunities.
Now tell us about this hockey drive that you have going on.
Yeah, so the Hockey Drive is our newest community program initiative. It really came from our heart to see more and more kids have the chance to play, specifically hockey, a popular sport, but one that's super expensive, yeah. And so we saw just a need, especially in the city of Hamilton, for families to kind of help overcome some of the financial barriers. So the Hockey Drive program, families can apply to have their kids in the program, and we'll cover the registration cost, mainly through Jumpstart, Canadian Tire Foundation. And then we're collecting equipment from generous individuals and families in Hamilton, and we'll outfit the kids, give them everything they need to play, and then get them registered into our kids' hockey league so that they can play hockey, many for the first time, is what we're hoping, yeah.
I was reading somewhere that on average it's about $3,000 and up.
Yes.
To get your kid into hockey these days.
It really is.
Expensive.
It's very expensive, and especially with kids hockey, where you maybe buy equipment for a year, 2 years, and you grow out of it.
Right.
So we're just hoping that there's some extra equipment that's lying around in some garages or basements that people can pass along to somebody in need.
And is this your first year doing the Hockey Drive?
Yes, we've just started, and so we're really kind of in the promotion and collecting equipment stage right now, trying to build up a nice inventory that we can offer people in need.
Alex, tell me about how you see kids transform when you give them the opportunity to play in sport.
It's incredible. I've seen it a lot in our one program, a gym night that we do for inner city kids in Hamilton. Yeah. I've been involved in that for almost 8 years now. And sports is it's a common language. So some of these kids, I don't even speak the same language as them. But when we open up the doors, give them a safe place to play, just become their friend and play alongside with them, there's just this, I don't know, it's this power of relationship and opportunity, get them to be active. And then the highlight for me is being able to talk about Jesus and share a message of hope. It really is, it's not a job for me. I love to do it.
And sport has really been a part of your heart and your passion for many, many years.
Yes, it has, yes.
Tell us about that.
So I've been a big sports fan, ever since I can remember growing up. So much so that I went to Brock University and I took the sport management program thinking, one day I'm going to work in pro sports. That was my dream.
Okay.
That's what my dream. But along the way, I just had these different influences that kind of opened up my perspective to combining my love of sports and faith and doing ministry. So I got involved in Athletes in Action soccer camps with our church and was hooked in the platform. So. And
was it Reggie Bush that played? Was it
Reggie White? Yes,
Reggie White,
yes. That was really my first hero. He's the reason I'm a huge Green Bay Packers fan. Yeah. I saw him one time on an NFL pregame show share his testimony, his love for Jesus, and he sang Amazing Grace, and I was probably 5 or 6. But I thought it was the coolest thing that this hero I looked up to loved Jesus and would share it, and we kind of had this, similar faith, and that we related to that. I just thought it was the coolest thing that he would do that. I've been a Packers fan ever since, and wanting to kind of use my love of sports in a similar way. So.
Tell us about that ministry aspect. You said, your favorite part is sharing the Jesus part of the ministry.
Yeah.
Tell us about how that unpacks and how the kids come together and how you're able to share that ministry.
So, for example, at our gym night, we'll just open up the doors, kids will come in, we'll play a bunch of games, and then about halfway through, we kind of just have everyone quiet down. And the kids are great. They listen so respectfully, and we'll just share a little talk from Scripture. Sometimes it's a Bible story. Sometimes it's a lesson on respect or honesty and integrity, that sort of thing. And it's just amazing to see the energy while we're playing sports, and then just the the attention and just being captive to what you're saying. So it's really encouraging. I don't think I'll ever get tired of doing that.
Can you think of one kid that you've been able to see just transform through that time?
Yeah, there's been a lot. And at that gym night, there's one boy in particular that I remember sharing the gospel story with a couple years ago. And then he kind of looked me up on Facebook and was messaging me all these questions, coming from a non-Christian background, and just had so many questions about Jesus and what does the Bible say about this. And then every Friday night after that at gym night, he would come up to me and say, I think I'm a Christian now. I think I'm a Christian now. Just a really cool small moment with one child that I'll never forget that.
And how about just the dynamic and the connections that these kids make as well? Maybe lasting relationships and friendships that they would have never been able to have before.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And we started at the gym night, I think it's almost 8 years ago now. So we'll have kids come back. They're in late high school, and they'll still come back on Friday nights and talk to us, and they know the leaders, and yeah, there's just some really cool relationships that have formed.
Tell us about the volunteers. Do you need more volunteers?
We always need more volunteers, yeah. So we have just over 1,200 participants in all of our leagues across the board in a year, and so we need volunteer coaches for all of our sports. We always need volunteers for our Friday night gym night program. So if people are interested, they can check out our website and ReachForth.ca and contact us, and we'd be happy to connect them in.
And remind people where they could drop off their hockey equipment if they have stuff?
Yeah, so on the website, ReachForth.ca/hockey-drive, we have a number of communities and community businesses and churches that have agreed to be drop-off locations, so they can find one closest to them and drop off their donations there.
Awesome.
We'd be happy to take them.
Thank you so much, Alex, for all
Thank you.
you
Thanks
do.
for having me.